Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Super 7 Ultimates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RAPHAEL from the 2003 animation. And this is the first thing I'm reviewing from Super 7, and the reason I haven't reviewed Super 7 stuff before is it always seemed overpriced and low quality. Even if it wasn't overpriced, low quality, but given those two things put together, just not really my cup of tea. However, when they said they were going to do 2003 Turtles, I figured, well, now's the time for me to give them a chance. They can have a chance, and you guys will want to see the reviews probably, and I want to see if they're actually worth owning. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to start with RAPHAEL. I have all four turtles. I'm probably only going to review the one, because they're all basically the same, but we'll see. If you guys want me to do others, I might be able to work them in, but we'll see what kind of views this video does. I'm going to also review Shredder from this bunch as well. But let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you the package. I say the package because I don't take any ownership of this. No, I'm joking. It's a decent enough looking package. It's humongous though. It's maybe 30% thicker than it needs to be front to back, and it's just like, the stuff's laid out nicely and it's good looking, but like, damn, it's huge. It's like a Marvel Select package. I don't know why companies do that. I guess some people enjoy big packaging, and I'm not even making any jokes here. That's why I didn't want to start off with my package. I'm not making jokes. I'm being serious, although you could infer jokes if you wanted. It's just really, really big, so anybody who's tight on space, like, you are definitely opening this or like renting storage. It's huge for what's inside, which is unfortunate, but it does look nice. The artwork is not from the animation as far as I can tell, and doesn't quite match the animation or the figure, so that's a thing. And then that's closer to the animation. It does show what the figure should look like, and it doesn't look like that really. We're going to talk about it. So let's go ahead and set this aside. By the way, guys, I apologize if you can hear the air conditioning. I can't help it. It is way too hot for me to not have the air on. And hopefully it's just like a low, airy noise in the background. That's what it should be, if you can hear it. Alright, so here he is. I'm going to leave that in his hand because it's too hard to take out. Is it too bright? Nah, I don't think it's going to be too bright. I think it's okay. Yep, okay. We'll leave it. He stands roughly 14.5, 14.7 centimeters. That's going to make him about 5 3/4 inches. Here he is up against a Storm Arena Ryu, which is about $25. This guy, I don't know what the MSRP is because Super 7's being janky about their pricing, and I don't know what Big Bad Toy Store did to the pricing lately to these guys, but I think it's like $60 roughly. I think they're $50 to $70 depending on where you look and if they are marked up or not. But either way, grossly overpriced as far as I could tell. Ahead of the review, we'll see how I feel about it after. There he is with Darwin. Alright, we'll do a question of the day. How do you feel about Super 7 product? Is there anything they make that you like? We'll just leave it at that. How do you feel about the company too, I guess? Alright, so let's get into the aesthetic. Let's talk about the proportioning. It's cool looking, like it's a fine looking Ninja Turtle, but it doesn't match the source material. There's way too much belly going on, and the arms are long, like they're squatty. They're way squattier than they should be. This version of the Ninja Turtles, though I never watched the show other than a few episodes because I had aged out at that point, even though as I got older I aged back into everything I aged out of as a kid. How many of you guys have done that? Like, you stop collecting or stop watching cartoons or whatever as you grow up, like you're 14 or whatever, you're not into that, 16, 17, whatever. Then by the time you're an adult, you're like, I'm watching and playing with all my toys and cartoons. That's what happened to me. Anyway, doesn't quite match the source material. It's good enough. Like, if you're not going to get articulated action figures of these guys from anybody else at this point, so maybe somebody will do it. NECA never did. Apparently they're not going to, or maybe they showed them off. I don't know, since I've reviewed this or filmed this, but either way, as of right now, this is what you get. Is it technically good enough to fill that spot? Probably, but it's not accurate to the source material, just in terms of the aesthetic. He's squatty, arms are long, belly's fat. The head shape looks alright from the front, but then when you turn it to the side, I think they really effed it up. There's no nose. It looks weird. It looks super weird, and the eyes are flat. They're like flush with the bandana almost. So there's that. Alright, and now we have to talk about the quality of the aesthetic on this guy. The paint job, there is shading throughout the greens. You can see it in the shins pretty easily. Mine's all scuffed up right here, so that's a thing I've noticed with Super 7 products. Seems to be pretty low quality in terms of QC. But there is paint work, some kind of like panel lining or wash back here. There's some kind of wash on the shell, which looks like crap, but it's like an orange wash. It's not where it belongs except for down here. You can see it down in the peeper area. It's pretty lined up, but then up here, they just missed it completely, and it's all smudgy looking. And the paint for the face is just acceptable. It's not like anything good that you would expect for this kind of price point. So, yeah, I'm not thrilled with it. It's definitely overpriced for what you're getting. Aesthetically speaking, I'm going to go just 6 out of 10. I'm not thrilled. Will I keep these in my collection? Maybe until somebody makes better ones, but I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it. Alright, now as far as accessories go, we do have an alternate head, so you get the one angry head and then the one yelling angry head. I'd say the yelling one is actually a little bit nicer. Paint job's still questionable, but it's whatever. It's alright. For hands, you get the 2 gripping hands, which do have vertical hinges, which I like, except they are only vertical hinges, and so if you want to have him hold his size the way I had him holding it in the front, or in the beginning of the video, it's not going to be that useful. But then you get 2 fist hands and 2 open hands. Not a bad spread. I will have to note, though, that the gripping hands do not hold the size well in the way I'm doing it. You have to hold them by the handle, or really, really fight to get it in there, and he still doesn't hold it very well. So, not a lot of forethought in that design decision. Speaking of which, you do get the size, which look like real garbage. They're short, they're transparent, whitish gray plastic, they look like crap. And then you get the communicator, which is actually surprisingly well done. That's like, looks like a NECA accessory, so not bad. So accessory-wise, 6 out of 10. You effed up the size. The weapons are kind of a big deal for the turtles, even though they never really quite use them. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, unless you're fighting robots. Okay, let's talk about the articulation. We have ball pegs in the head and neck, which, they work well enough. There's not a ton of range. They could be better, for sure. But it's okay. I mean, you have a thick head and a shell and stuff, so it's not the worst thing. The bandanas do rotate, and you have a different bandana on this head and the other head. I haven't tried swapping them out. I'm scared they'll break. You can try it, or maybe somebody else has, and you guys can let me know in the comment section, but this does not feel like a good material for swapping out little tiny pegs. So be aware of that, but it does rotate. The shoulders. So, the upper body looks like it should move, by the way, and as far as I can tell, it's just the way they put it together. It doesn't actually do anything. Like, there's no movement in all of this that's cut up in here. It doesn't do anything. But you can raise the arms up to better than horizontal, so that's pretty nice. You get your full rotation other than where the shell is. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow, which does rotate at the elbow if you want to. You get extra rotation there. Double jointed elbow works pretty well. Not too bad, not the best looking thing we've ever seen, but it's okay. And then for the wrist, like I said, these guys have the vertical hinge. This one's completely floppy. Well, not really floppy, but it's really messed up. It's loose. But they all have the peg and the swivel, or the hinge and the swivel, so that's alright. Now, for the torso, like I said, none of this actually does anything, even though this is soft. I mean, if it does do something, I don't know what. And I think it might... Yeah, I don't really understand how it's designed, because it doesn't move, or mine's like super stuck. Either way, you have it down here. You have a ball peg that lets the hips jiggle and rotate a little bit. The whole pelvis, I should say. You're not going to get a ton out of that, but it's there. And then for the hips, you have this pretty unsightly situation with giant ball hinges, which are functional enough. You do get the legs up pretty high, and I like that they go up higher rather than popping out down here and sticking out, so that looks nice. Going forward, you have to squash the shell, which is a soft piece. So let's see what kind of range we get. So the problem is the legs do come out up high, which looks good on the side, but going forward, oh, you can see it's hitting right into the pelvis. So, oh good, it chewed it up. Yeah, this company doesn't seem to make very good stuff. It chewed the crap out of that. I thought that was going to be softer in there. It's not soft. That green part is not soft, it is hard. Okay. So don't push the legs forward, even though they made this soft, the part behind it's hard. What a dumb thing to do. That's really dumb. That's a really, really dumb thing. Wow, alright. Well, it matches these chewed marks right here. Alright, so you get your thigh swivel, which is fine. Double jointed knee works like the elbow. It'll swivel at both ends, if you want it to. And it has decent enough range. Not the best, but good enough. We've seen uglier stuff. We've seen better looking stuff. It's a fair enough choice. For the feet, they sunk the ankles down really low into the feet, which is a good call. It makes it look good. But when you lean it back all the way, it will flex the foot. Now, unfortunately, they're using a harder plastic here, so when it flexes the foot, you can probably already start to see that discoloration. If you flex it at all, it starts to stretch right there. And so, don't do that, or you're going to have a discolored foot. You have to use a softer material if you're going to let it flex like that. Bringing the foot forward, you can see these guys don't really know what they're doing, or they're just bad at it, and they know what they're doing but couldn't execute. I don't know. Either way, they have the top of the foot so tight into the joint that as you bring it forward, it hits the top of the joint, and you get more discoloration as you try to move it. Like, that's only the second notch forward, and it's already hitting, and you have very, very little range out of that, and we're getting more chewed up spots. Alright, and then lastly, we have our ankle rocker, which should be pretty good. It's not good. You would expect it to be better, given that they sunk the ankle so low into the foot. It's still not very good. So this guy's articulation kind of blows. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Oh man, did I just grind his arm against the shell? I didn't. Yeah, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's not the worst thing ever, and you can probably make it look good enough in a pose or two, but it's not fun to handle. And the fact that I chewed the leg up just by trying to bring it forward up against the soft yellow shell here, like, why is this soft and proud if it's not proud enough to actually be useful? Proud meaning it sticks forward from the green. The green is still in the way for no reason. Cut that away, you doofus. Whoever designed this is a doofus. The green's in the way completely. That's so stupid. Yeah, not good articulation. 5 out of 10 for that. And now it's time for the final verdict. Am I now a Super 7 fan? No. No, I'm pretty sure everything I thought was right. They're overpriced and low quality. The concept's not terrible, but clearly whoever designed these wasn't concerned with accuracy. They weren't concerned with functional articulation. And they weren't concerned with giving you anything that's even close to worth what you're paying for. Like, it's almost there, but that 20% away that it is way more than 20% in practicality. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Like, they have the paint, they have sculpt work, they have the articulation, it's all there. It's just all wrong to enough of a degree that I don't enjoy the figure at all. And I'm guessing that's how you guys are going to feel. So I'm going to give it an overall rating of 6 out of 10. If you really want the 2003 Turtles, you don't have a better option right now, and it's not terrible, but it's not good. It gets a 6 out of 10. That is not a good score. It will simply suffice if you're really hungry for some turtles like this. But that's it for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos just about every single day, and I do have thousands of videos already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.